Hey guys, this is Dumbledore's Water, and today we're going to be talking about one Albus Percival Wulfric
Brian
Dumbledore. The theme of the story here is that Dumbledore is not actually able to see Harry through the invisibility cloak, so how does he do it? And we believe he's using Legilimency, he's reading minds. Dumbledore doesn't see through the cloak, he sees through people. First, let's talk about the cloak here. It seems like it just, the cloak is a Deathly Hallow, legitimately. It goes against all the charms and spells. It fools magical creatures, enchanted objects, and humans alike. It works on true magical...
absence.
not concealment. So it works on true magical absence, not concealment. So it is a true just invisibility cloak, I guess, in that. But a hollow, making it that much more magically great. We have so many examples of this, but I mean, right off the bat, let's talk about the Chamber of Secrets here. In the second movie book, however you want to say it, Harry and Ron are down at Hagrid's trying to comfort him and get some information here about what's going on, with the monster in the Chamber of Secrets and everything. And who is coming this way but is Cornelius Fudge to arrest Hagrid and send him to Azkaban. Lucius Malfoy, who's kind of behind the whole thing and planting the diary, also a former Death Eater, and want Albus Dumbledore to foresee it all and probably walk through Hagrid, let him be as comfortable as he can in this time. So why would Albus Dumbledore want to read minds here? I would say 100% to see Cornelius Fudge's true intent, to see Hagrid's true intent, whether he's guilty or not, which he never thought he was, for clarity. And Lucius Malfoy's intent, who is not only a former Death Eater, but actually behind it all right here. And, it should be said that even Tom Riddle, when he had opened the Chamber of Secrets the first time, and after Myrtle died and everything, what happens here? Oh, Dumbledore never trusts him again, basically. Yeah. He never thought it was Hagrid that was guilty, and while he never said it out loud about it, he might have thought it was Tom Riddle, he certainly kept a close eye on Tom Riddle for the rest of his years, which is why he literally closed the Chamber of Secrets and locked it up and everything. But so we're down in Hagrid's hut, and what is happening there? Dumbledore's reading minds, and I've got a feeling he's going to stumble onto Hagrid here. And Hagrid is thinking, oh boy, I sure hope, Harry and Ron in the corner don't make a noise. Dumbledore looks in the corner, and there's Ron. Oh shit, Harry, he's got us. He's looking right at us. We're caught. All of this. I think Dumbledore took a look around using his legitimacy and knows exactly what is going on very quickly here. And not only does he seem to look at him, look right through him, even in the movies, he does look right at the kids and everything. But as he's leaving, as they're taking Hagrid away, he gives the speech of, help will always be there for those at Hogwarts, for those who ask for it. Yeah. And so I 100% believe that Dumbledore walked in and kind of read the room and knew exactly what was going on here. Dumbledore and Prisoner of Azkaban, a lot of the same situation down at Hagrid's. You have Hagrid, Cornelius Fudge once again there to oversee the Buckbeak's execution, and another former Death Eater there to see through the execution. So yes, I think it makes perfect sense that Dumbledore is there kind of getting a vibe off everybody, yep. Where you have a Harry, Ron, and Hermione this time just escaping out the back doors with the invisibility cloak as Hagrid's, they were trying to comfort him before Buckbeak's execution. Now Dumbledore here is distracting Cornelius Fudge, basically buying as much time as he can. I don't know if he really knows what's going on, but he knows something's afoot, and I think this is, again, picking up on all the Hagrid vibes here. And as they try and leave, Dumbledore's like, oh, I think I better sign as a witness too, just stalling, taking a little longer. They walk outside, and he's showing the Cornelius Fudge the beautiful, the mountains and everything that he presumably went to school at and everything. Yeah, the scenery and everything. And then after they're like, oh, Buckbeak's gone, Dumbledore, who I'm sure in many ways, probably had many ideas if he actually wanted to find Buckbeak or do anything about it. So it's like, oh, well, search the skies if you want, Cornelius. Hagrid, why don't you pour me a cup of brandy? Dumbledore knows exactly what's going on here, you guys. We even have other examples.
He's too calm in all those situations.
Absolutely. He's just smooth the whole way along.
Yeah.
The Mirror of Erised, when you really think, again, Dumbledore's the one who gave Harry the cloak, so he's not ignorant to it. So these context clues, picking up off Hagrid or anyone, would really be easy to put together. the Mirror of Erised, which I think was completely putting Harry in a situation. He gives him the cloak on the same night and basically leaves an open door with a mirror, defined and everything. And it was clear that Dumbledore had been watching him for the previous nights and everything. He knew it wasn't the first time he'd come and everything. I believe he went down there to see what kind of kid Harry is, who he was dealing with.
Another Voldemort or not.
Exactly. And I think Harry gave Dumbledore exactly the kind of answer he was looking for, because he knew he could put the stone in the mirror, and if Harry was to ever see it again, it would go Harry's way instead of Voldemort's way. It also, you can pick up the context clues throughout all of the books. It's, Harry has the vibe of it seems like Dumbledore was reading his mind. In the Chamber of Secrets, when Filch's cat was attacked and Filch and the students were blaming him, it was innocent until proven guilty. And pretty much the same in the Goblet of Fire. Did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? Or, when Harry was speaking parcel tongue and didn't want to tell Dumbledore all the things going on. It was like, is there anything you want to tell me? And he says, no, sir, but he's just beaming right at him. Yeah. And there are just too many context clues that make sense, that Dumbledore is seeing right through it here. Harry's own testimony. It felt like he could read minds, knowing things Harry never said, watching with eyes that feel penetrating but calm, making statements that answer Harry's questions he was only thinking. He often is exposed or understood in Dumbledore's presence without having spoken. The subjective repetition matters. Rowling uses Harry's instincts as a narrative signal, especially when they recur. So it definitely seems like they were hint dropping the whole time. Legilimency is canon, and Dumbledore would be a master. Doesn't require direct eye contact, which, by the way, we want to talk about another example of Voldemort's example. The beginning of Goblet of Fire, when they are in the house of the former Tom Riddle's Muggle family and everything, but Frank, the gardener over there, is still living in the cottage on the side. He sees a fire in the house and thinks kids are inside, vandalizing the place and everything. Goes inside to check it out and stumbles upon Wormtail, Voldemort, and Nagini as she passes by him. Now, as Nagini informs Voldemort that he's there and asks him to come in, Voldemort is not facing Frank, the gardener guy over here. He is, he is still not even a body. He is turned around from him in his chair. He's never even seen him before. And when he talks to Frank, Frank makes some claims my wife and kids know I'm here and they've already called the police, this, that, and the other, so you better get out of here. And Voldemort already knows he is lying. He says, your family is dead, you're lying. Dumbledore even is famously quoted in saying that Voldemort always knew when people were lying. And so I think Voldemort was probably doing a lot of the same, but it goes back to the point that he didn't have to be looking at or even ever see Frank to know he was lying, to use legilimency on him. Now, Dumbledore outsmarts Voldemort psychologically, not magically overpowering him. That's kind of worthless there. Chamber of Secrets. So, Dumbledore doesn't need vision, only confirmation from the minds in the room. Why would Dumbledore avoid, people knowing he's mind reading? It's a deeply ethical power, which I think Dumbledore would take seriously. It violates privacy. It resembles the control and tactics he despises in Voldemort. He prefers guidance, not coercion. The subtle use of it allows him to protect people without dominating them, more steer them, rather than impose on them, and keeps their trust. Now, the counter-argument, Dumbledore just saw him. Common claims Dumbledore peers or twinkles knowingly in the books, is what it's going to. Rowling frequently uses symbolic language, paraphrasing for intelligence, not literal sight. No scene ever explicitly states Dumbledore sees Harry's body, even though, he gives clues. Again, Chamber of Secrets, the help will always be found at Hogwarts for those who ask for it. Looks right at Harry and Ron, The cloak still works on Dumbledore later. He never exposes Harry physically. So knowing does not equal seeing in this. In conclusion, it preserves the integrity of the Deathly Hallow cloak, which I think I love. It doesn't impose on any of the canon that's going on here. Aligns with Harry's repeated subjective experience that Dumbledore really could seem to read the room, know what was going on at all times. Excuse me. Uses established canon magic, legilimency, explains Dumbledore's behavior without contradiction. And again, Dumbledore doesn't see through the cloak, he sees through people. And in rooms full of fear, guilt, hope, and love, Harry Potter is never as hidden as he thinks.